Hey, what is going on, guys? It's me, Uncle V. I'm back from being out of town, and oh my god, I feel like we got some pretty big zingers dropped on us today, so I want to spend a video to quickly talk about it. And of course, as you can see, this is what everybody is like really excited about. It's ML Lua, and that's going to be coming in like what, two weeks or something. So we're gonna be ready for that. So I wanted you guys to know what my thoughts on her are, because they did show her entire design as well as her entire kit. So let's look at it for a bit. So she's going to be a 5-star Dark Elemental Ranger with high HP and can increase her effectiveness with imprint concentration. And she's going to be, I don't know what the symbol is, but it's the same as Blue Lua, so it'll tell you that she's just a really bulky, high effectiveness, very high base speed, right? She's in that like second tier of base speed at being 120 base speed. It's the same as Blue Lua and Sea Phantom Politis. So she is going to be a very provoke and taunt heavy character. I mean, that kind of like tracks with her identity being kind of like a MSGK, but hey. And I think like Smaugate honestly cooked on this kit, because I think it's a very fun kit. You're going to be able to do a lot of fun things with it, and at the same time, I don't think it's going to be broken like Lua, or like Harsetti, like Empyrean Illinav, like ML Luna. So her S1 is just a 100% chance to provoke. Alright, really simple. Her S2 is whenever she's hit, it's going to increase combat readiness of all allies by 10%. And then it makes allies who are challenged counterattack. Don't ask me why I'm phrasing it this way, you know. So all her allies are going to be able to counterattack. This is going to give her so much crazy synergy. She's basically a General Purgus, if you want to think about her that way. And her ultimate, oh boy, this is like, oh holy, it's so crazy. She's basically the new Fairy Tale Tenebria, essentially, right? She gives challenge to all her allies before increasing her own defense for 2 turns. And on top of that, she's going to strip 1 turn of buff duration, which means she will successfully remove turn 1 immunity every time and have a 100% chance to provoke for 1 turn. And when you use 20 souls, which is a whole book, you ignore ER. That is so strong. And what challenged is that after counterattacking, if you're hitting a hero, it deals damage equivalent to 8% of their max HP. It's an additional damage, so it means it's going to be like a splash, like if you think about Amiki, if you think about MLK, if you think about Rimru's fixed damage, right? It's not going to be held back by Empyrean Illinav. It's actually a really solid amount of damage. It's 8% of their max health, so it'll help you punch through tankier teams. You won't be able to bully squishy teams, and it will act like Cascade. So after you attack, it'll increase I guess it's like it'll increase the team's speed for 2 turns. So it'll make her a really good fast tempo character to synergize with like slower good counterattackers like Abyssal Eufiend, Captain Landy. And I can easily see, if this was the character they're going to drop on us, why they buffed Mort. Because she's so reliant on allies and counterattacking. That's pretty crazy. All allies counterattack. So I can easily see a lot of things going wrong. But at the same time, do want to say this up front. I do not think she is going to be giga broken, even with ignore ER on her ultimate. Now, why do I think that is? Well, if you guys think about it, if you play against a really slow player, their team's usually speed tuned to be able to bypass, like, you know, they'll have their Laya, they'll have their all forms of cleanse, right? And they'll even, like, some of them will have Ambitious Tywin, and Ambitious Tywin by himself, like, you know, your team counterattacks, and if there's any amount of AoE, you have an AU Fiend, your Landy Salvos, it's just going to immediately cleanse all the debuffs. So you definitely have to, like, play a bit careful with her. She's not like you press your button, you get a book on her, she can just win. But what I do think she's really good for is, if you are in general a standard player, you got good high value units that you're going to be able to synergize with her, and you have 1 fast set of gear, I think she's going to be so good in that spot. I think if you're currently doing that with like a Conqueror Lilius, and you're like, I'm not getting enough value. If you're doing that with like maybe an ML Luna or a Sea Phantom Politis, and you feel like those characters are getting banned a little bit too much, I think it's a perfect time to pull out Hellion Lua. And she's not a character that's so broken that I feel like she'll get banned every single match, but at the same time, she will impact the match enough that it'll make you feel like you have a worthy set of speed gear for her. And to that end, I think she'll be pretty good. And you don't only have to play her fast, right? Which, if I'm looking at my stats, I'm probably going to try out this build on her. I'm using my ML Payra a lot less now, so I'm probably going to just take this set of gear and see if I can do anything with these stats. You know, you're fast enough to be able to, you know, choke off a lot of aggressive drafts, but also, you know, you're bulky enough to withstand a good amount of just taunting it up, especially with the defense buff she gives to herself. Now, if you are not doing a fast build, or you don't think you can afford a fast build, I think this character will be just as good and just as annoying if you run her really tanky, really slow, and run her on counterattack set. So like imagine, right? She counterattacks anything, 100% chance to provoke. Now they're stuck in a loop. And if you run a good amount of effectiveness, like on my test build, I'm only planning on running 60-ish or so, because I plan on running really a good amount of Tagahel's Ancient Books with her. But if you play her really slow and you play Harsetti, for example, I could easily see a world where you build her slow, build her base speed, 180, 200 ER, or 200 effectiveness, and you just absolutely provoke lock whatever is hitting her, and that would also be an absolute terror. Now, how strong she is ultimately will come down to how fast she can cycle the cooldown of her ultimate, Lua's Challenge. So, you know, pretty excited to see what she's going to be about. Outside of ML Lua, guys, we are also going to be getting a headhunt event. Now, if you've never done one of these before, this is essentially a 5-star Moonlight Hero Selector up to Sea Phantom Politis. And a sneak peek for you guys. I'll make a full video on this real soon, but this is the tier list. If you know, as always, top to bottom, left to right. You guys know how that works. So yeah, I'll be covering that soon. And just so you guys know, there is a chance we get 2 summons. Okay, there's something that said in the graphic about an extra summon. We don't know what that is, so we'll just keep our eyes peeled for it. Okay, make sure you guys keep your eyes peeled. After this, we will be getting the buff for, it's like the biggest patch in the history of the game. We got Roel, SBA, LRK, Pavel, Designer a little bit, Island Kayron. I think Mort's probably the biggest buff that everybody's excited about. I'm personally excited about Silverblade, Araminta. These characters are going to be everywhere. So this is going to be a pretty impactful buff. New arena season is starting as well. And we're getting the new Specimen Says exclusive equipment. Can't forget about that one. So the EE itself is just 7 to 14% attack, and the effect I actually think is pretty impactful. Like, it's nothing crazy. It gives some perfect synergy, not only with stun sound, but also sleep. Is sleep something that I think is going to be everywhere? Not really. There's not even that many sleep units in the game, but what it does give him is really good synergy with Death Dealer Ray, which is one of the best units in the game. And when you suddenly gain a new whole line of synergy with the best unit in the game that also combat readiness push you, I think that has big pop-off potential. Okay, outside of that, we got Advent Side Story coming back. If you're a new player, don't worry about this, but if you are a endgame player, we're going to be able to farm runes again. Or not runes, this is for substat mods. Substat mods being a pretty big thing. But yeah, I wanted to keep the video short. That's all I really have to talk about. Hellion Lua, I think she's going to be pretty good. At the very least, I think you can't deny Smilegate cooked with the design. The design looks really fun. I will be pulling for her and playing her when she comes out on November 7th. And yeah, I hope to see you guys there. I hope to see you guys in the tier list video for the headhunts. All right, have a great one, guys. Oh yeah, before I forget, guys, the next tournament is up. It will be on November 2nd and 3rd. And our guest for this month will be Mashu. This is going to be a standard tournament, since there's going to be a lot of buff units coming. And, honestly, me and Divine, the idiots who casted Worlds, we just really want to see how people are playing with the new patch. So the listing is up. Make sure you guys sign up. You have about 10 days. Prize pool right now sitting at $100. If you were there for the last one, we did a draft mode for all the new players. Honestly, I didn't expect it, but we managed to get the prize pool up to a $600. So, and we donated a lot of money for charity. So that was a really good time. I hope to see you guys there for this current one. And yeah, that's all I got, guys. See ya.